Hi guys, and before I get onto the subject of this video, I'd just like to thank DrumJolter01 for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm not sure how you found the channel. Maybe you got me off Planet Minecraft, or maybe you just searched up a video and then you found mine, you liked the video. So anyways, thank you DrumJolter01 for subscribing to my YouTube channel. So first of all, of course, we're talking about the CPU, or Central Processing Unit, in this episode of the Computer Tips and Tricks series. And so, as always, first off I'll explain what a CPU actually does. Now, the problem with me explaining what a CPU does is that it's kind of a bit complicated for me to explain. I honestly, to be honest, I don't actually know a lot about CPUs as far as what they actually do. Basically, lots of people say it's similar to a human brain, and basically the CPU inside it the CPU is basically a code, and it's all mathematics, and I'm not sure whether you should know about the bunch of ones and zeros. I'm not sure whether the CPU is linked to that or not. I imagine it probably will be. So all I can really say about the CPU, you don't really need to know a lot about what a CPU actually does as far as, what's inside them and stuff. There's not really much to cover as far as that goes. So next I'll just move on to, the gigahertz of a CPU and the core clocks and all of that kind of stuff, and how much gigahertz you should be aiming for compared to what programs you want to run, and also what manufacturers to go for. So first of all, I'll just start off with the difference between Intel CPUs and AMD CPUs. So basically, Intel CPUs are considered a lot higher than AMD CPUs, basically. And a lot of people say that Intel CPUs are the bad boys, and the AMD CPUs are for poor blokes and all this kind of crap. That really isn't true. This AMD CPUs do perform pretty good. Their only problem is that AMD is paying too much attention on how many cores they put in their CPUs, and they're not really putting it up to the next generation, unlike Intel CPUs are. So that basically what makes Intel CPUs better as far as performance goes. But when it comes to price, Intel CPUs are sometimes they can be worth up to $200 to $300 more than AMD CPUs do. So if you're trying to build a computer, or if you're buying a computer or a laptop or whatever it is, if you're going to be buying a Intel CPU, it is going to cost you quite a bit more. But if you want to be playing Battlefield and you want to be doing all this video editing and stuff, then you probably should be aiming for Intel CPUs. But honestly, AMD isn't that bad. If you're looking to save about $200, I suggest going with AMD. But I'm saying that Intel CPUs are better than AMD CPUs as far as performance goes. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is, well, what type of CPUs should you be aiming for? So I'm not really going to talk about this too much, because if you really want to know, exactly, if you want to run Battlefield on Ultra and you want to know what CPU you need to run that, you need to have to run that, then you're probably better off looking at benchmarks or looking at other videos that do benchmarks on Battlefield 3 requirements or on a good CPU, because I'm not going to go through every name of the CPU for every program or game you might need. What I'm going to say is, as far as gigahertz go, when you see the gigahertz, you should be aiming for, say, 2.5 gigahertz. You should be getting at least 2 gigahertz. I wouldn't try. You can go under 2 gigahertz, and you can always just overclock them, which will be covered in another video later some other time. But really, all you really need to worry about is just getting it over 2 gigahertz. And You don't worry. The difference between 2 gigahertz and 2.1 gigahertz isn't this massive difference. Some people say that, oh, you know, you got a 2 gigahertz and I got a I got a 2.1 gigahertz. Oh, it's retarded. It's not gonna make much of a difference. Just a few gigahertz, and all it does is make your computer hotter as well. So just another note. If you're getting a laptop, make sure you get a laptop cooler if you're going to be going up to, say, 2.8 or 3 gigahertz. But and I can say names for processors if you want. I don't really know much about AMD CPUs, or I know a teeny bit about Intel CPUs. I know you should be trying to get, if you want to play really good games, all you need is the Intel i5 Anycore. As long as you go with the Intel i5, if you don't want to look into it much, the Intel i5 will run pretty much every game on medium settings. So now I'll just talk about iGPUs or integrate. What am I on about? This is a CPU one. Okay, sorry, there's no integrated CPUs. I'm a retard. I forgot we weren't talking about graphics processing unit in this video, but it will be covered in the next video, which is basically the end of this video. I can't really mention any more about CPUs. CPUs are kind of a hard thing to cover because I can't really explain in detail or explain, you know, types of CPUs that you need, because it would just take too long and I'd probably bore you a lot with it, unlike RAM and stuff like that. Or I don't know whether my videos are getting boring to you or not. So see you guys. Please subscribe for weekly content, and as I said before, I will be covering the graphics processing unit, which is probably you guys most interested in because you're looking to play games, obviously. So see you guys next time. Subscribe for weekly content again. See ya.